Okay, we're just after finishing the zone test. You'll find that in the validation Excel spreadsheet. Basically, we had a look at each of the dial, digital, and plate sensors in relation to underfloor heating, U-probe, grad probe, domestic hot water, and scheduled. All zones interacted correctly, and you can see the spreadsheet directly above this video. And it shows all the various different interactions and all working correctly. In addition to that, we also tested override and also advanced 1, 2, and 3, disabled, and setback. All working fine. And we also used the potentiometer here to make sure that when we went down under 5 degrees that the zones turned on as well. So all interactions at this stage look pretty good. One note is that when you're using probe, I assumed that a probe would actually bring on the radiator pump. It does not. Have a look at the spreadsheet above there, and you can see all the interactions, so you'll be able to see that on it. But anything other than that seems to be fine. In terms of how these were turned on and off, we used the override function when it was in schedule mode to turn it off. We also, at the display, the thermostats here, we increase and decrease the temperature to turn them on and off. At the touchscreen here, using advanced 1, 2, 3 to turn them on and off. So all the various different ways of actually getting manually getting the thermostats to turn on and off, we've gone through every single one of them, and all are working correctly. So the next phase will be to just have a peek here at this thing here. We'll be going on to basically each one of the modes after this. We one other thing as well, we in the domestic hot water window here, this is this guy here, you can see that. But basically you have a boost function inside that, and you've got for 10 to 120 minutes. I obviously didn't wait for every one of those to wait for each one of them to turn on. But the points that I did look at was the idea that it actually turn on for just a 10-minute one and turn off, and that did work fine. And each one of the ones after that, I just checked to make sure that the timer did come up on the screen correctly, showing the countdown for what it was supposed to do. So all of those seem to operate correctly. There is 3 domestic hot waters in our system. However, this boost button here, the front screen one, only dealt with the very first one. So it doesn't turn them all on, just the very first one. If you want to turn on the other ones, you're going to have to go into the setup window, or at least into the set point window, select the zone there, and then turn it on or off, depending on what you're trying to do. So in terms of where we're at, also things that were tested as well during this, because I had to do what we're doing here with the copy functions, and so that's each day and copy to all other zones. All appears to be working well. When you copy from it, underfloor heating zone across all zones, if there's domestic hot water in there, it will not turn on. It will not schedule domestic hot water as the other ones. So you're going to have to do that independently by itself instead of using the copy functions. You can add and remove zones fine, or at least set points fine, as you see fit. There will be a little bit more testing done on that later on, just to verify that each one can be done fairly well. That be done with the schedule. So as we're starting right, or as we're ending right now, at least all the basic functions in the basic setup. So when you go into setup and install basic, we've gone through each one of those. The interactions and all seem to be working well. And as you can see here, we're using an R16, R16, R16. So Logic Box 6, 7, and 8 were all R16s, and Logic Boxes 1 through 5 were all R10i8s. Also, you can see that we had some plate sensors in here, or these little guys here, the ones for warm and core, and the standard ones in here as well, along with the probes that we have up here. So a lot of different things going on there. All appear to be working well. So that's a pass for at least the first stage. And this is in relation to, let's get the rev number. It's 18.5.16-16. So that's the one we're using, and we seem to be going pretty good at that.